You are watching the number one podcast in the whole entire wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
And together we are...
RAW.
How's every single one of you? Welcome to the NXT UK review. A pretty good show. You have 2 championship matches, a lot of more storytelling, and also like every single rivalry has, more hype for what is going to be next week. We're going to see some storylines going on, developing. So it's really good. So another great show. We were going to see Walter and Dragunov too, where we're getting really excited about that. But we have a lot of news to deliver to every single one of you. How are we doing, Paul?
Yeah, good. We'll get into the breaking news, soon enough. But and this was a really good episode of NXT. The main event to me, maybe, I didn't really care about it as much because predictable winner, whatever. Yeah. But the match with Meiko Satomura and Amele was really good. I thought Amele had a good showing. And, the tag team match was all right. I think maybe a little too contested. But, overall, this was still a pretty good episode of NXT. The only thing I thought was a little funny, which this will get us right into the review, unless, first, before we get ahead of ourselves, family, here we go. Check out, Malakai Black, Cody, they're ready to collide. All this stuff from Fyter Fest. What did you think of night one? Because everybody knows I'm a little... everybody knows I'm sour.
They broke a million. So, there's a lot of people that are saying, like, AEW, most of us thought it was dead. You know what? They got, they're trying to shut us down because actually more people are getting to watch, especially, Aleister Black. Like, he was brandly released from the WWE. Bringing him on is, brought a lot of eyes to the product. They're trying to, in some aspects, I don't want to say everything because there's no perfect show, but there's a lot of things that they're trying to do better. And I think, we mentioned even, night one wasn't too bad. Ricky Starks winning. Wasn't what we wanted, but at least he got goal, all of that. Kenny Omega against Adam Hangman Page going at it. You see, the storyline keeps cooking for what is going to be all out. So I think it was a pretty great show.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I said in the review, too, last night. I said, the ratings went down about 10,000 from 2 weeks ago to last week. I was wanting to see what they were this week. Now we see they went up over 100,000 to, went from the 870,000 to now, broke a million. So that's good for them, but they need to keep that momentum. They need to keep, giving us interesting storylines, matches, and feuds, not Matt Hardy and Christian. And
if you guys please watch the video. It actually goes black and white. I did that for every single one of you because it is needed. That match is way past this time, you said. So, tell me a little bit about Terra Rising.
I thought that's the one thing I was going to say. I thought that was weird. You're telling me you couldn't have, Johnny Saint or somebody like that? I know Triple H, he's obviously created NXT. I'm sure it was his idea, or he was one of the guys who was like, oh, let's do one over in UK for the British fans and everything. But it just seems so weird for him to be the one who's like, oh, yeah.
I actually did because...
I'm not saying I didn't like it, but it's just, he wouldn't have been my first choice. I would have, even Regal would have made more sense, I think, than, Terra Rising. But this was still pretty cool, and then I didn't think this would be the opening segment when they went right into, the little press conference or whatever.
Yeah, we're a press conference, yeah.
And I actually liked how they... had reporters there, and they were actually reporters. I'm like, oh, these are just going to be work reporters. They're not going to be actual, reporters. But no, they wrote for BT Sports and, all these different, radio stations, sports websites, everything in the UK. And the questions they were asking were, of course, they were generic. They weren't going to ask anything crazy, but... they ask oh, Walter, what's the difference between you and Ilya, all this stuff. And he's just, it's kind of like the same thing we heard in that first promo. Oh, the difference between me and Ilya is, I respect this, this is my life. Ilya, he's just full of emotion, blah, blah, blah. And the whole time you just saw Ilya was so. And then they asked him, oh, well, what do you think, Ilya? This question's for you. How did that match with Walter affect you? And he pretty much is Walter changed me. It wasn't just physically that he beat me down and broke me. It was mentally and all this stuff. And he lost a piece of himself in the ring. And then they asked, well, what are you gonna, how's his second match going to be different? And then that's pretty much, where they kind of had, I think Ilya said he's arrogant. He used the word arrogant because Walter got pissed. He's like, what do you mean I'm arrogant? He stands up. They get in each other's face. And then that's when, Ilya kind of shows he's just I'm not scared anymore. I'm not all this. He's I'm just angry, just filled with rage.
Yeah, he says he changed him. He says he changed him. He says, you made me into a person that I don't want to be. But like because of that, like I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna walk out with the NXT UK Championship. If I'm not able to beat you up, I might as well not ever walk again. So like pretty good narrative, and like you said, like I mean, the beginning was like the same stuff that we heard from before, but this big stare down, they went at it, were trying to headbutt each other. Really, really cool. I mean, they get us ready for what it was gonna be. It was gonna be the match. But this is probably pre-taped. That's why they did all of this, because I don't think they would have gone all this far to just like cancel the match later on. But like you said, we got without breaking news, like they have to call the match off because Walter is actually injured. He's injured and he's not going to be able to fulfill his duties. So they said that they're going to have extra information. So I have the extra information, like he's injured, like his left hand is injured. If he's still injured from the match with Tommaso Ciampa, stand and deliver, no. They said it's just like the hand is injured, so it's gonna like give us like further information as the days go by, because the match is canceled. Maybe, I don't know if he's gonna forfeit. I would think they will do that.
No.
But unfortunately the match is off.
Yeah, I mean, Walter, I think he, that's a shoot where he says he respects this business and everything. He would rather go, no, I'll give you a match and just, we'll just maybe kind of protect the hand a little bit, and, I'll drop the title if that's the case. But I don't think he's just going to forfeit. That would be the most like just like deflating the balloon, just like for the end of his title reign. That wouldn't be good. But I mean, the only thing is, was this a pre-existing injury and they thought, oh, fingers crossed, we can, have this match?
Very uncrossed,
or like or did he get hurt? Was it like a freak thing like Bailey? I mean, that's because they promoted this match and they did it so soon. I even said, 2-3 weeks ago, whenever they first announced this, that Dragunov, won that triple threat. I'm like, why are they doing this so soon? They should really, tell me in 4 weeks, in 5 weeks, really build this up, make this feel legit. Even though it is the rematch and everything, but it's like they like, in 2 weeks we're gonna have it, and then all of a sudden it's like, so we're not gonna have it anymore.
Yeah, it says like a left injury right there.
I definitely want to find out more information of when this was, if it was a pre-existing thing or how this is going. But I'm still looking forward to this match. I think now this might be a blessing in disguise because they can maybe hype it up a little bit more.
Oh yeah, like you said, and it's unfortunate, like because everybody, people that love professional wrestling the way we do, the way that we conceive this business, like if they were really exciting for next week. You can tell, like they were treating it as
there's people, thing ever. There's people who don't even know where you can watch NXT UK and don't even know it's a show, but they're talking about, we need to watch this match.
Walter, exactly. Yeah. So like even Triple H said that is like everybody still talk about Ilya Dragunov and Walter, because that's, and nobody, they will never say it was the best match.
We know it was my favorite match with
we know it was, like, so moving on, Paul, it is really, it's really sad, it sucks, but we got to move on to subculture. Flash Maroon Webster and also Mark Andrews, bro, we're gonna get ready to get those titles. So kind of like a cool promo, very similar to NWO. I don't know if I really like the the black and white. I mean, I enjoyed it with Christian and Matt Hardy.
The following program is brought to you by
exactly, like subculture. But I mean, they're trying to hype their match. It's gonna be cool. I don't mind this, like Danny Lone in the back. I mean, the girl is like just training with both of them, so that's fine. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean it was an all right promo. They're like, remember the last time we beat the tag champs in a singles match, or one of the tag champs in a singles match, and earned an opportunity. Do you remember what happened 2 years ago when we did that? We won the tag titles. History's gonna repeat itself. All that. Then you see like Danny Luna with the spray paint. She does the 2X. The 2-time tag champs. Everything. I mean, it was all right, but I don't know if I'd put the belts back on them.
Yeah, no. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that because, they're pretty deadly. They still need to have their roster champions. They need more teams.
You say that, but they just rebranded these guys. They're in a new group, with Danny Luna, all this stuff. Are you really going to, be like, look at this new group and then have them lose? You know what I mean? I don't know.
For me, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to change the hands of, I don't think the titles are going to move to them.
It's just, to me, it's 50-50. It's a flip of a coin. I really can't. I wouldn't be surprised if the champs retain or subculture wins.
Yeah,
Because
no,
I
yeah,
feel like subculture is
yeah.
really, I feel like they're really popular with those fans. I know at
We're
least
like
they were cheering
some
Webster's
demographic
and
they
Andrews.
are,
Yeah,
like the young kids and the young people, like the teenagers and all of that. They probably feel like identify with like Danny Luna, Flashmore Webster, Mike Andrews. But I don't think they're gonna change hands. The titles are gonna stay on Pretty Deadly, which they also cut a promo because they have freshly plates, and then just like I know that they look like Modern Talking. If they don't know who I'm talking about, just Google them. Modern Talking is a German band of the early 90s and the late 80s. So just like Google them, they look exactly alike. Lewis Howley and Sam Stalker, like they look exactly alike. So pretty much they counterattack in their promo, right? They just said like we're gonna stay be champions. They were legit and all of that. And I mean, like I said, they're not going to lose those titles. They need to build like a better team for them to lose those titles to. But I just feel that like they need teams to feud against because they don't even have that. So unfortunately that's the one thing that like NXT UK is being lacking. And we're gonna talk about tag divisions in a little bit. So maybe that's what they're gonna like try to build now.
yeah. This was pretty good promo. Like Lewis Howley was like, yeah, I got distracted, but you shouldn't have had your goons down there to begin with. You're gonna pay for that. So then you saw Sam Stoker. He got real fired up, and then Lewis Howley was like, calm down, mate. We're still, don't cry over spilt milk here. You know what I mean? Like, calm down,
Exactly.
man. Like, it's legit. But
Exactly.
no, I think this will be a good match. I hope the champs retain, and but with them kind of pushing, which we're going to talk about in just a minute, them pushing a heel tag team, maybe they're going to want to put the belts on some baby faces. I don't know.
Nah, it might be, like you were saying, and I told you about like the Modern Talking, right? Right? Yeah.
Oh, I can see it. Yeah. Maybe
like right there, Modern
Talking
hair, German, like nah, 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 nah,
if Blondie's hair was a little longer, I'd definitely see it.
no, and there was a video that like actually have the same length. So right there,
okay,
Pretty Deadly and Modern Talking, very similar. So anyway, now let's focus on wrestling. Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter going against Theo Man and our boy Rajat Raha. Like pretty legit. The match, like you said, maybe a little too long, but really solidified what like Theo Man and Rajan Rahar are trying to do. That's good. It's family, and you see a lot of chemistry between Theo Man and Raja because like they actually had already combined moves. They have like they look like a tag already. So that was cool. They both have like a blue pants. So that actually makes me feel that like they're a tag team. So that was cool.
Oh yeah, because Rajah's now in the family. He's now in Theo Man's family, so they all got to dress the same and stuff. No, this was good. I mean, I understand how the baby faces dominated early on, especially Ashton Smith. He was like, I mean, to me, that guy, both Smith and Carter are both really good, I think, but especially Smith. I feel like you could push him in like a singles role, like he could be, a star for these guys. But he came in, I mean, he was just clearing the house, beating everybody up. And then eventually, and Teo Man too. Like Teo Man was on the ropes, and he was like, "Oh shit!" So he tagged in Raja, and then Oliver Carter came in, and that's kind of when the heels took over. They like really dominated Oliver Carter for a good portion of this match. Like you said, I love the tag team moves. Like they did the backbreaker into the Insaguri, then into the big slam. Just like the combos that Teo Man and Rohan have are really good already. That's why I'm thinking, man, they're really pushing these guys.
Really
they look good and everything.
Yeah, remember the flatliner into like crossface, and of course he has the tap. But like what we didn't see is like actually I think it was Oliver Carter was going to do like a moonsault, but then you saw Theo Man interfere, and then, like he cost him that, and at the end, like the family wins. Pretty legit stuff. And I mean, we knew they were going to win because they need to solidify them. And maybe, like I said, this should be a team that I will be, okay, let's put the titles on these guys. They're family. They understand each other. They're actually, like, it's not taking a long time.
Isn't it funny, though, like, when you, just looking at that picture there, even this one here, like, Rohan looks way more, like, ripped and stuff than Theo Man.
Yeah, but yeah, like, Theo Man is about Theo Man. It's about the family.
Yeah, but, like, Theo Man is, like, supposed to be the legit one.
Yeah, he's looking at us, It's like, I'm looking at you, Walter. Why the hell you got injured? What? What? It's like, yeah, we're looking at you, you dumbass. There you go. So, like, it's really cool. And, I mean, like I said, these guys, if I'm putting the titles on anybody, it will be them. It'll just be them because they look cool and you can tell a better story. Now, like you said, having like the table like they had it before, gold right there, and maybe you keep adding members in the family.
And you know what I would do, honestly, if you're going to get a show back, maybe keep it on Pretty Deadly till you have crowd. get a big crowd, big pay-per-view, do a ladder match, do like what we saw at the other. I forget if it was
It was one of the
Blackpool
takeovers
or
that we
one
saw.
of the
Yeah,
takeovers. It was like a fatal four-way ladder match. Tio Man and Rohan, you do Pretty Deadly, Subculture, and then throw in Smith and Carter in there. Throw them in there, do a fatal four-way tag match,
Do
ladder match.
Symbiosis if you want to forget, but like if you want to give them something.
They're already done. Already
give
done.
them something.
They're like Walker's left hand.
Yeah, what Jack, like Dennis, completely dead. But let's talk about like we haven't heard from like A-Kid, like after like what happened with Jordan Devlin. So Scarlett's like, hey, so you come out of the doctors, are you okay? He's like, well, I'm not legit yet, but like
he's like, oh, let's see how he is, and he comes out with a cast from like thigh to his ankle. It's like, so no, I'm not okay.
Yeah, it's not good yet, but like he just says, you know what, I'm going to teach Jordan Devlin a lesson, so I want to imagine it's like, count me on it, just leave it with me. It's all good. And he's like, no, but not a just match. I want a 30-minute match. I want an Iron Man's match with like Jordan Devlin. So it's cool. The feud is gonna keep, taking place. It's gonna they're gonna prolong it a little more. I'm okay with that, and I feel that like in this one, probably Kid's gonna win, but it will be a much better if you actually like give Devlin the win, and then Kid probably turns heel or does something different.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to this. The only thing I'm wondering is this injury a real one, or is this injury like a work to kind of be like build sympathy for A-Kid? Because we didn't hear anything like, oh, he was hurt or whatever, then all of a sudden he's just like walking out with this huge cast, and you think if it was such a catastrophic knee injury that he needed a cast like that, that would have been in the news or something.
It's just like what happened with like when remember Devlin, how like he turned the leg and all of that, so they're playing out with it. It's not a legit injury. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Especially to be like, oh, I want a match. We'll probably see that in a couple weeks, and I'm looking forward to it. That's another one where I want Devlin to win, but I could really see him going either way.
Yeah, it will probably go either way, but this is gonna be fine. But like, let's talk about this one. The one thing that NXT UK does really good is like feuds that they don't even like, on the day what like a regular world, or like nobody cares about this match because it's just not a title match. You're not really big fan of Genie or anything like that, but like despite of that, you make these promos and you give them significance. You make them look like, oh, I'm looking forward for this because see, Eva Valkyrie starts like talking about how like Genie always focuses on people that actually lost, and then she gets in her head and all of that. So she says, no, it's like when you're a winner, like you just forget about failure quick, and then you just want to keep spreading your wins. I really like that, and see like this picture that they have right there. So they make him look like really serious for me, and I like that. Yeah, on a regular world, nobody would really give a damn about.
And well, that's you that's the word you said there, serious, because and I'm not. This isn't like an attack at you. This is like a figurative you, like everybody. We're used to like the garbage we see on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and sometimes Fridays, and and like we're used to the garbage wrestling that's been promoted. But then this show, they treat even the feuds that aren't for a title, they aren't for a number one contender, they're just a feud. They even treat them as legit by giving them video packages and promos, and see, that's what you're supposed to do. So it's not like this brand is doing anything out of the ordinary. All the other brands in the wrestling world that get way more viewers, they should be, let's take some notes here because this is how you do it.
Learn from it. Yeah, absolutely. So that's what they need to do, and like we're looking forward for this because probably Valkyrie will get the win, and then we'll see. The next one it will be Blair Davenport.
And we can mention right now too, to also get this feud going, really, and again, it shows you how much stock they have in Ginny, and also, probably more so in Eva Valkyrie, we're going to see Ginny.
I'll say it, to the whole wild world, Eva Valkyrie is my favorite women's wrestler right now. I'm a big fan. I want her to succeed, but like you said, they're taking their time. They're not just putting the title on her, and even they took a streak away. Something that, remember, you said it will be the right thing to do. Let's talk about actually, the Women's Championship, the French Hope, like the first French superstar to ever resign in the WWE, and especially in NXT UK, Amele, challenging Meiko Satomura. Like you said, I feel that out of this match, my take, what I actually gathered from is like Amele had a great match. Meiko, she's the champion. We knew she was going to win, but in the end, Amele gave us a great show, and at some point, maybe just by a second, I thought she could have pulled the opposite. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, this was pretty good. This was a match, I think, not too long of a build, a couple weeks, but Amele, she had a good showing here, especially looked really dominant, really aggressive early on. And the one thing with her is, she's not the greatest women's wrestler or anything, but she has a lot of pretty much all the components you need, I think, and she's only going to get better. In this match, she gets aggressive. When it's a 2 count, she yells at the ref, "What are you doing? That was 3." She has the facials where she gets angry, or if Meiko kicks out, then she looks shocked. She has all the components, and I think she will be a good wrestler, and maybe she will even be champ on this brand. I was really impressed in this match. Meiko sold for her good, but then when Meiko had to make the big comeback, she did. And I pretty much the beginning of the end here, which, it was right before this picture. Right when she hit
look at that expression.
It's almost like she hooks the one leg, almost like a fisherman, she hooks the leg, but then it was kind of just like a big slam. And
the hope that she did,
Well, there was that, but no, the slam, which is her finisher, the hope breaker. She hit that, and then Meiko kicked out, and that was so. And then, a bunch of big kicks, the Scorpio rising. And, Meiko Satomura retains. But, this was still, like I said, really good match for Amele. Showed her off. And like we always say, there's a way you can get people over. And it's like, oh, man, they actually look really good. They're better than we thought, even if in a losing effort. And that's what they did with Amele here.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you 100%. This was, really, really great. I'm really, like I said, Amele looked so good. And I said, this is going to be the beginning for greater things for Amele. She showed us that in, a big match situation, she can pull it off. She did not look bad against Meiko Satomura. We call it the final boss. There you go. No, nothing else is needed to say right there. No, you know what is needed to say? Supernova sessions. We miss them. We haven't seen Noam Dar in a long time. So she's going to have a special guest, Jeannie and Joseph Connors. Remember, we just talked about him in a few minutes ago. There you go. They're legit and legit again. Like you said, they love Jeannie. He's a great heel. Maybe that's her role. She's never going to be champion, but at least she's going to be the one, the stone before, where you got to, overcome, and then you just go with, the champion, reigning champion. That's how I feel that they're going to do it, and I'm looking forward for this because Noam Dar is going to poke fun at them. He's going to poke at the wounds, so that's going to be cool.
Yeah, and this is, maybe we'll even see Eva Valkyrie come out on this, because we do see people, they just invite themselves onto the Supernova sessions, they'll just come out. But, the fact that she's on here, it also, again, shows that, they're really promoting this feud. And like you said, it's a non-title feud, but they really are trying to make it feel special. Both of these women, I think. They're not
just... any other show, like you said, it will not have any significance, any meaning. But here, hey, they're telling us, we care about this. Every match that we put on...
And you could even make comparisons to be like, oh, well, this is like Miz TV and when Miz has Charlotte and Rhea Ripley on, but this is done so much better. It's so much more professional.
Yes.
Than Miz TV having a Charlotte and Rhea on. That's the difference.
Absolutely. So, that's going to be next week. We're still going to find out what's going on with Walter and Dragunov. And, maybe when he's in better shape, when he's ready to go, they're going to have the match. But the main event of tonight's show was for the Heritage Cup, Tyler Bate against Mark Coffey. And the match, like you said, it was pretty good and all of that. But, when the winner is very predictable, it takes away from you. You want to kind of get behind one of the guys, or at least be guessing, who could win? Who could be is it Tyler Bates going to retain? In this situation, you kind of knew that that's the path that they were going to go. But unfortunately, the bridesmaid is always right there. Even cleaning the title, all of that. Can you be legit? Can you be the one that challenged? At least give me that satisfaction, Trend 7. No.
Yeah, with this, it was... I don't know if this is maybe the last match I would have put on. I would have maybe did this before the women's match and had the women's match in the main event. I really don't know. It's hard to say because this... I don't want to say this was the worst Heritage Cup match we saw, the most boring, because maybe the worst one was when Joseph Connors got knocked out, because I was so...
Oh, yeah, that was the quick one. That was in the second round, I believe.
Yeah, this was just... I don't know. To me, it was just I don't want to say boring, but it just never got real exciting for me. It was okay, in that was this picture we have right here was pretty much the entire first round. He was just trying to wear him down, and they were just holds, all this stuff. Then the first round ends. They're literally standing on the apron, and he has the arm, and they're just we good. And then Tyler Bate taps him on the back, and Coffey gives him a slap to the face a little bit, but a friendly slap, but maybe a little too hard to be a friendly one. And then they're so. And then you saw the roll up there in the previous picture That was pretty much, in round 2, you saw that not even, a little over halfway through the round.
The most effective move in the WWE, right?
Yeah, and I mean, and the way that he does it, and I hate that type of roll-up, when the guy who's getting rolled up, you see he literally will bend his legs forward so the guy can grab back and hook the legs. And I'm like, so you're just cooperating to get pinned?
Exactly.
Like,
and that's
the one I hate.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it looks so much
I hate that type of roll-up.
It looks so much the cooperation between the two, so that's terrible because it just shows that. So you're telling me you're not going to be able to move your legs at least? No, that one sucks.
Yeah, I mean, at least when you do a small package and you grab at the head and pull them down and hold them, that's at least a little more believable.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we see Tyler Bate.
He tied it up,
Well, what do you think of that? Which I'm like, Tyler Bate, we've seen him kick out of everything in singles matches in this, and then he comes off the top rope. He just eats like a big kick or whatever it is, and then he's like on the mat, and he eats a big uppercut, 1, 2, 3, and he gets pinned. And I'm like, now is that like his finisher, the big uppercut? I mean, we don't know what Mark Coffey's finisher
is. Like that combination is like the enziguri and the uppercut. Yeah. Because remember, that's how he beat Shaw Samuels. So that's pretty much what he's doing. But like you said, it's like we've seen Tyler Bate kicked out of so many devastating moves rather than this. But you knew, like, in the end, it was going to be a Tyler driver. 1, 2, 3, and then he gets the other win, the other fall, they win, and they trying to go out at each other. Remember, like Gallus and like also Trent Seven and Tyler Bate, and they're kind of appeasing each other. No, it's legit. We're all baby faces. They all love us. Let's not do that. Trent Seven, you're a bridesmaid. You're not. No more tag for you. So in the end, this is what we see. Just like one more time, just Mustache Mountain, just celebrating in the end. So like you said, for like a main event, I would much rather to see somebody better challenging Tyler Bate.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully this leads to just enough people poking fun at Trent Seven that, I mean, I think it would be better if Tyler Bate would turn heel, because nobody wants to see the old guy turn heel, because then that's, he's just the bitter old man, he's just jealous, whatever. To me, that's not good. It's better if the young guy turns heel and then the old guy's like, all right, son, I gotta whip you, back into shape, stop being bullshit. So I wish they would turn Tyler Bate heel. But I feel like they're probably going to turn Trent Seven heel and feud him. But no matter how they get to the feud, I think Trent Seven's got to be the one to beat him for that cup.
It needs to happen. Yeah, it needs to happen. You mentioned last week, remember, all the training that we saw, all the pounds that he lost, all the weight, all the effort, all the, at that time, pandemic even, like all the stuff that he did, all the labors, like if you don't believe me, ask Chris Jericho, and all of that. And can you win something? And we already saw a little bit of the God right here. We cannot see.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is he having the contractions too, or is it just no? But I mean, all jokes aside, and like you said, all the stuff you went through, it's like the same thing with Edge. Don't be building up this guy. Oh, he's legit. He did so much training, this and that. And then he just loses, and then we're just supposed to go, oh yeah, now he's just the buddy.
They're best friends. It's fine. They love each other. Nothing happens. No, exactly. Give me something at least here. Give me some dissension, or they go in the match, and then Trent Seven wins, and Tyler Bate.
And if they really want to kick it off, put them both on the Supernova sessions, because Noam Dar, he'll poke them. He'll get them going.
Start stirring the pot a little bit. So I agree with you. So family, before we go there, don't forget we have a busy weekend that starts tomorrow. Crowds are going to be back in the WWE. Jean-Paul already reported for you. A lot of surprises. There's going to be a lot of things. Becky Lynch already expected to be on Money in the Bank. It's confirmed that she's going to be backstage. If she's going to use or not, we don't know. Another thing, Bill Goldberg is going to be returning to the WWE next week. But of course we need Bill Goldberg. Why not? We will not need the best guest in the Broken Skull sessions. If you don't believe me, ask Jean-Paul. Ask that video because he enjoys that. But remember, just tune us, because tomorrow night everything that is coming back is happening on SmackDown. We're going to see the Mysterios and Edge against Roman Reigns and the Usos. Like you said, the crowds are coming back. That starts tomorrow, so we're going to see that live. Jump on myself talking about all about that. We're going to Saturday. We switch gears. We're not going to go WWE. We go Impact. Kenny Omega against Sami Callihan, no DQ. They added that stipulation, Slammiversary. A lot of people that were released from the WWE are going to come back. And if you don't believe me, you see Sami Callihan's in the picture right there. He's grabbing his balls. He said, I have balls of gold. I love it. I'm engaged to Havoc. So he's legit. Wow. And then on Sunday, what do we have, Paul?
And then, we have Money in the Bank. And, this is a pay-per-view I was excited for, because it's Money in the Bank. That's an exciting pay-per-view, the ladder match, but typical WWE, they find a way to just sour it, to just, we'll just give you pretty much half the matches and everything, before the show even starts. But, I am looking forward to a couple matches here and there. But, sometimes, though, I guess it is good to go into these WWE pay-per-views a little pessimistic, because sometimes they can surprise you and actually be half decent. But I'm really looking forward to the winners. Unless it's Big E, then...
Oh, no, then I'm done. Then, I'm just going to be when Big E is the winner, and then we go off the air. But don't forget to be with us. Give us a subscription. We're going to keep growing. Thanks to you, we win at 1,000. Can we get it to 2,000? The answer is on you guys. Also, remember, to follow us on Twitch. That's our brand new site. And where else, Paul?
And then make sure you follow us, Rope Break on Facebook, OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram. Like Juan had mentioned, go over to Twitch, follow us there, The Original Rope Break, and of course, right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, The Original Rope Break.
Family, the weekend starts tomorrow, and so all these lives and all this information, so we'll see you then. You and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...